Y'all may or may not be able to see, but I just had to go out there on the porch and stab a couple holes in our blue tarp. It was like a swollen belly of water, and I mean, it poured out enough to fill up this bucket, and I'm sure if this other bucket had been flipped over, it would have been full too, but it let down a flood of water, and as you can see, all that white stuff is hail. So I know my poor plants are probably suffering tremendously. I mean, this is crazy. Good morning, y'all. So we've had a time. Last night we had probably about 30 to 40 to an hour long really bad thunderstorm. Brandon Beck with KY30 had said, you know, it's either going to miss my area or we're just going to get clipped with the edge of it. So unfortunately we got clipped with the edge of it, and it was just crazy. About 9 o'clock we came home from Bible study, and I picked Declan up from my mother-in-law's and put him down to bed, and I was playing on my phone for just a couple minutes whenever it had started raining, and then it had started hailing. And in my experience, the last 7 or 8 years here in southern Missouri, the hail only lasts usually for a couple minutes. This hail went on for like 30 or 40 minutes probably. And it like almost the entirety of that 30 or 40 minutes, it was just intense. From start to go, just intense. Last night was probably the first time during a storm here that I was truly scared. I was very panicky. A lot of people have described having a tornado near your house as sounding as like you're standing right next to a train track and the train's just barreling past you. That sound, that feel, you feel the rumble, and that's what it felt like last night. Our whole trailer was shaking. The hail was hitting all of the windows so bad. I thought Declan was going to wake up. I thought the windows were all going to break, and you know, it would just be crazy. So I was actually pacing and panicking throughout the house, wondering, you know, well, if it is a tornado, it's too late for us to go anywhere. My phone never alerted me of nothing, but so I was very panicky, very scared for about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. Or maybe it was less than that. Maybe just in my panic state, it seemed forever. I don't know. But it was crazy. I had to actually come out here and with a kitchen knife stab a couple holes in our blue tarp out here. It was just so full and swollen of water that when I stabbed a couple holes, I mean, it came down on me. Even though I was trying to stand to the side as I was stabbing, it just came down. I got drenched. Water and hail poured out like a waterfall, man. And then after probably about 40 minutes, it calmed down, and then that's when I thought let's turn on the lights and look out on the porch so we can see what's going on. But in the intense part, I didn't think of that. I was so panicky, thinking that, you know, there was a tornado or the windows were going to get busted out or something. I could put my hand on the glass and just feel it, you know, hitting the window. But it was scary. And then after it had all calmed down, Emmanuel came home from work and informed me that our farm stand got flipped over and kind of thrown toward the road, but not on the road, thankfully. And I can see it's flipped over down there. And earlier when I was trying to, for the first time, to film this intro, I looked over and saw a trampoline up in the tree, but it's not our good one we jump on. We've been collecting old bent up trampolines that have flown in trees because we have ideas for uses for the metal. So even though it's up in a tree, it's still fine for what we're going to be using it for, but I had seen it's up a tree, so we got to figure out how to get that down because it looks to be right over the top of our chicken run that we just built, so I don't want to mess up our chicken run. But if we could just get that to drop down, I mean, it'll be all right. But I just wanted to walk around with you. You know, after the storm had calmed down, the only thing I could think about was all of my plants, all of my gardens, and so I just wanted to walk around with you this morning and inspect the damage. So let's get to seeing all the stuff I'm gonna have to possibly replant. All right, going to inspect all the damage. Our good trampoline is good. We've been collecting old trampolines, and as you can see, one of them is up in a tree. We had bought this good this new trampoline for Declan. We had a yard sale. I sold a bunch of my stuff to buy him a bike and a trampoline. He hasn't gotten his bike yet, though. That's for his party in June. But we staked it down pretty well. It's got 6 pairs of legs. Each pair has a cinder block on it, and this bent up rebar that we staked through into the ground pretty deep. So hopefully this trampoline never goes anywhere. But we have been seeing different ways to use up old trampoline framework and stuff, whether it be for chicken tractors in the garden, or even using it to make like hoop houses for like greenhouses or whatever. So we were given this one free because it did end up in a tree and it was unsafe for their kids, so they gave it to us free. This is going to be our chicken tractor for our meat birds. The deal came to us so quick that we just had to come up with something, and then just yesterday we got this one. There was nothing wrong with it. They were just getting a new trampoline and they gave it to us for free, and now it's up in a tree. So, I mean, that's what happens when you don't stake your trampoline down. But we can still use the framework, honestly, for what we're wanting to do with it. That's fine. But on for kind of a quick garden update. So we have been having problems with rabbits. There has been some damage because of the rabbits. I noticed the other day some of the stuff was gone, but just looking at it now, there's damage from the hail last night. So these 2 rows here are butternut squash, and I can kind of see, like right here, you know, looks to be some hail damage. The leaves are ripped, not eaten. Some of this other stuff, like here, the leaves are ripped, not eaten. Some of it looks eaten, but most of it just looks ripped. So that one completely knocked over. So that could be hail damage. I don't think it's the rabbit. But we did have a few squash plants on this row that the rabbit just ate. And then here at the cucumber row, there's nothing. I noticed that the other day, that the rabbit just ate all of the cucumbers. See if I can step over here. Now this here is my green bush beans that I got from the local grocery store. And as you can see, unfortunately, most of them are laying down. So I don't know if they'll bounce back. If not, I had some other stuff over there that I hadn't planted that I bought from the grocery store, but those look beat down to poo too. So, I mean, I can always go get more. But just yesterday, I had noticed that my purple bush beans had finally popped up. I had to direct sow those because my starts didn't make it. So as you can see, they seem to be doing okay. So And then got my, my cabbage, my tomato, and my bell pepper plants. Now, all of my bell pepper plants I had noticed the other day are gone. Whether they withered away or they got eaten up, they're just gone. My tomato plants were still small, but I had seen just yesterday or the day before that they had grown just a little bit. All of my cabbage starts here have grown just a little bit, but even the cabbage starts I put over in the cottage garden are still like super small, so I'm not sure what's going on. But here I'm seeing just a couple plants that look like they suffered damage, but you know, I still see some plants here that I think might do just fine. This one suffered some hail damage, and then we have this one, so I don't know. And then for my tomatoes, like I said, I've noticed they've grown a little bit, but I really don't know how they're going to do, really. Like, this one doesn't even have its leaf anymore. Same with this one, there's no leaf. So I don't know, but y'all know I'm not opposed to going to the store and buying more starts. Whew. Let's move on over here to the raised bed garden area. Let's see, this raised bed had collards, lettuce, and spinach. My collards have not come up, but just yesterday I noticed my lettuce was starting to come up, and I noticed that my spinach was starting to come up. So that's good. That seems fine. This bed is my leeks and my green onions. The leeks all seem to be fine. You don't belong in there. My green onions haven't come up yet. And this bed here is my cabbage bed. And these are still really small too, but I don't see any damage from the hail. They're just so small you can't even see them. My carrot beds, none of my carrots have come up yet, so obviously no damage there. Out of all of these tubs, this one has my mint in it, and you can tell it kind of took a hit, but I think it'll be just fine. The rest of these tubs is just weeds. And then our 6-week-old chicks. How you guys doing? Y'all doing all right? They all look alive, so yeah, we'll let y'all out later today once we figure out how to get this down. Hopefully it doesn't fall or ruin the brand new chicken run that we just built this past week, but I don't know, maybe see if we can't hook something to it and just pull it straight down. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, we had gotten these two, and I had cut a big hole out of this one and then kind of stitched it back up so it wouldn't be flapping down low. You know, cut a big hole so that the meat birds can get some sun, but also we can't stake this one down. So my thought process was cut the big hole, that way, you know, the wind doesn't catch it and just lift it all up. The wind can just go through the hole. So obviously it worked, I guess. But walking over here to the cottage garden, this had 2 watermelon plants in it, and I'm not even seeing them, so they may have just withered away. But I mean, that's all right. My stepdad said he has issues with what? Oh, hang on. What's this? Oh, so we have, I think this is the watermelon plant here, but I don't think it's going to make it. So chances are I may just pick that up and we'll plant something else in here. Don't know what yet, but something. And then this was all of my Tigger melons. I think there was 5 or 6 of them in here. None of them made it. I had noticed the other day that they were just gone. So I think they just withered away. They just didn't make it. This one is pumpkin. Y'all know, if you watched my garden video for this garden, I over planted this one. But there's only 1, maybe 2, 3, 4 pumpkin plants that made it. The rest of them, the way they look, they just withered away. This is not hail damage or anything. This is just, they just didn't make it. So, same thing there, and there. And that one looks like it was actually eaten or something. But, and then squash row here, we've got half of it is zucchini and the other half is straight neck squash. A lot of my zucchini plants, I've noticed the last couple of days, have just been withering away. That one might have been eaten, I don't know. But this one could have been hail damaged. That one I know was just withering away. So all of my straight neck squash looks pretty okay. I do see some bits where I don't think it was chewed on. I think it might have, maybe it was chewed on. Yeah, that looks like chew marks. Alright, darn rabbits. But this one looks like it just withered away. Oh, and broke off. And then this one looks ripped, so that could be hail damage. But here, I'm gonna step over you guys. Sorry. 2 of my bell peppers the other day I had noticed were gone. The rabbit got to them. But this one and this one are doing okay, but this one has a lot of leaves. Looks like it's been all ripped, so this is probably hail damage. That one is just missing some leaves. I see some leaves at the base, so possibly more hail damage. And then I noticed the other day none of my jalapeno peppers made it, except for this little guy here. That's the only one that made it, so I'm gonna have to probably direct sow or get some more jalapeno peppers starts. And then going on to over here, this bed and this bed are pretty identical, so I'll just show you one. But I direct sowed some tomatoes and then transplanted some very small cabbage starts that have not grown. There's a cabbage start there. There's one here. They're just not growing, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I see the other little cabbage starts, but none of my tomatoes have popped up yet. This bed and the bed on the other side is pretty similar, but not identical. On both sides, I had 3 loofah plants here, and 3 on the other side. Those never made it. Those started withering away. And then I direct sowed some pole beans, and those started popping up the other day. And they look like they're coming up pretty okay. So, pretty happy about that. Here, I just planted recklessly. I have a row of, I think it's either spinach or lettuce. And then I noticed just the other day that I've got some of my Swiss red chard popping up. I did a row of Swiss red chard, so that's popping up. And then over here, like I said, it's not identical, but it's pretty similar. My 3 loofah plants died. My pole beans are coming up. I don't think any of them were damaged except for maybe the leaves on that one. But then I think I did 2 rows maybe of lettuce and spinach, or 2 rows of spinach. I'm sorry, scratch that. I have 2 rows. One might be lettuce, one might be spinach, or they might all be spinach. I don't remember. And then, like I said, the tomato direct sown with the cabbage plants, so they're like teeny tiny babies. I'm seeing a couple of the cabbage plants, but not all of them. So I might have to do something else right here in front of these tomatoes. But anyway, that's an update on all the gardens and the trampoline up in the tree. And I mean, it'll be all right. We'll make do, replant or whatever. So there's a dumb cow! There's a dumb cow right here! Ah! Go away, cow! This idiot just walked right in the line of fire. She says pee on you. Keep on! Woo! Oh, almost! Keep going! Woohoo! Alright, so the trampoline is down. We're collecting springs to use for our own trampoline in the future if we ever need them. Or for whatever. We've got some pieces come apart. A suicidal cow that almost died.
Not really.
No, we're not suicidal. She's just walking. So now we gotta get this back over in the yard.
You can keep it 9 to 5. Happy with the simple life.